My name's Alex Carter, 34, Brooklyn project manager. Reasonably sane right up until the Tuesday night, my phone screen turned my marriage inside out. Emily, my wife, Pilates instructor, #queen, had just posted another girls only in carousel from Capri. I tapped through, half admiring, half bored, when a face flickered at the edge of frame, a square-jawed stranger pouring Prosecco. Odd, but maybe a waiter. I swiped again. Same guy, different angle, hand grazing Emily's lower back. Enraged curiosity smothered sleep. I opened Google Photos, synced every image Emily had ever sent me, and started tagging that face. Later, I'd find out his name was Ethan Ward. The software spat out 36 occurrences across 9 trips. Statistically impossible coincidence. My pulse hammered as though I'd sprinted stairs. Really, I just sat at our kitchen island under the ugly fluorescent strip we kept meaning to replace. Emily was in the bedroom, earbuds in, binging reality TV. Good, I needed time. I pulled up our joint credit card statement. Her latest spa retreat in Aruba, set for next month, showed 2 plane tickets, Emily Carter and E. Ward. Her caption online had read, "Just the girls," yet she'd bought companion insurance for a man. Not even sloppy. Arrogant. Trust doesn't shatter all at once. It splinters, sending thin needles into every old memory. The night she came home from Montreal at 3 a.m. claiming the flight was delayed, was Ethan there? The scratched-up Airbnb key I found in her purse labeled E+E, needles everywhere. I needed someone who'd keep me from rationalizing her lies. That turned out to be Sarah, Emily's 28-year-old sister, med school resident with a photographic memory and a grudge. We'd always swapped memes, but at 12:19 a.m. I texted, "Weird question, recognize this guy?" Attached collage of Ethan's cameo appearances. She replied with a 5-word grenade. "That's Emily's tour guide, Ethan." Then, "Can I call?" Sarah's side of the story came fast. Last summer, she'd met up with Emily during a supposedly all-female Barcelona getaway, only to be rudely uninvited the moment she noticed Emily flirting with the same dude. Their relationship ice-skated ever since. Sarah had receipts too, Venmo screenshots, GPS pings, even a blurry photo of Emily and Ethan kissing behind a Gaudi statue. Pieces clicked until denial had no room to breathe. We spoke until her phone battery died. By dawn, the only thing clear was that confronting Emily at home would give her time to spin. Better to pull the pin on her fantasy grenade where she least expected, mid-paradise. So we designed a sting operation worthy of Reddit's or petty revenge. Phase 1, surveillance. I'd act supportive, even chipper, while installing a tiny AirTag in Emily's luggage handle and enabling photo backups from her phone to my laptop. Phase 2, parallel vacation. Sarah and I would book the same resort, same dates, covert check-in. Phase 3, public exposure. A timed reveal, ensuring witnesses, indisputable proof, and legal advantage. Our prenup voided her stake in my company if adultery occurred. If that sounds cold, understand I'd spent 7 years being faithful while she weaponized spa weekends. Mercy felt like endorsing deception. Booking the trip was alarmingly easy. The resort's website still had ocean view rooms adjacent to Emily's suite block. A polite bribe to the desk clerk, 2 Yankees-Red Sox tickets, ensured Sarah and I would land 3 doors away. Flights cost a month's rent, but revenge rarely goes on sale. Sarah emailed me her passport photo at 3 a.m. with the subject line, "Let's burn it down." For 4 weeks, I perfected the performance of a loving husband. I foam rolled Emily's sore calves, watched reels of skincare tips she adored, and pretended not to notice when she would smile at her phone, then flip its screen down. I counted 23 separate lies, from "Anna just booked the snorkeling tour," there was no Anna, to "Wi-Fi on the island is super spotty," the resort boasted fiber. Each fib went into a document labeled "Divorce Evidence." Emily's departure day arrived. I hauled her suitcase to the Uber, kissed her forehead, and said, "Find your bliss, babe." She said she loved me, words that now felt like counterfeit bills. The second her ride turned the corner, I sprinted upstairs, grabbed my pre-packed duffel, and met Sarah at JFK. We toasted with overpriced airport bourbon, our version of warriors painting faces before battle. Aruba greeted us with sticky heat and resort wristbands that granted unlimited rum punch, helpful for nerves. During check-in, I spotted Emily's flamingo pink luggage tag on a bell cart rolling toward the elevators. Sarah caught my sleeve. "Showtime," she whispered. We spent the afternoon rehearsing lines. Sarah, ever the med student, suggested simulation drills. What if Emily cried? What if Ethan swung at me? We role-played until hotel security probably wondered about the shouting. Dinner approached. The resort-wide beach buffet, high foot traffic, perfect soft launch. Under torchlight, Sarah and I queued behind Emily's crew at the buffet. I overheard Emily telling a friend how Alex is chained to spreadsheets. He'd hate real adventure. I almost laughed at the irony of our covert mission. Sarah looped her arm through mine theatrically and guided us to a table within Emily's sightline. When the resort photographer circulated, Sarah called him over. Flash. Emily's gaze snagged like Velcro on our pose. Her face rearranged itself into confusion, then dread. She marched over, heels stabbing sand. Alex, why are you here? Tone half sweet, half panic. I feigned delight. Surprise! Small world, huh? I introduced Sarah as my travel partner. The word partner made Emily's eyes twitch. Ethan hovered behind her, puffing his chest. Sarah handed him one of our extra rum punch cups. Thirsty? Emily's mouth opened, maybe to protest. But a waiter interrupted to ask about drink orders. I seized the moment, guiding Sarah away. We left Emily standing between torches, doubt flickering across her face like shadow play. That night, Emily tried calling my cell 5 times, then texting frantic variations of, "We need to talk." I let them marinate. The next morning, our phones buzzed with resort activity schedules. Sunrise yoga, parasailing, catamaran cruise. The catamaran had limited slots. Emily had bragged about snagging tickets months prior. I walked to the concierge and bought 2 last seats, slipping the clerk a 20 to assign us adjacent to Emily's reservation. Stage set. Sunrise yoga came first. Mats lined the sand, instructor chanting about grounding breath. Emily positioned herself front row, Ethan beside her. Sarah and I unrolled mats 4 feet away. Mid-warrior pose, I whispered just loud enough. Nice view, E-boy. Emily wobbled, collapsing into Ethan. She shot me daggers. The instructor called for focus. I focused on her turmoil. Parasailing followed. Emily and friends queued on the dock. Sarah and I waved enthusiastically as our harnesses clipped in. 30 meters above the sea, suspended, I felt a strangled joy, adrenaline mixing with righteous anger. Sarah shouted over wind, "Think she regrets the spa weekends yet?" I yelled back, "Regret is landing soon." The catamaran sailed at 5. Guests shuffled aboard barefoot, bar immediately crowded. Emily and Ethan occupied a cushioned bench near the rail. Sarah and I claimed stools opposite. The captain's assistant snapped souvenir photos with a DSLR. When he aimed at Emily's bench, I leaned into Sarah for a staged kiss on the cheek. Click. Emily's jaw went slack. Halfway through the cruise, the captain invited couples to the bow for sunset pictures. I gestured. "Shall we, honey?" Sarah laughed, playing along. Emily couldn't resist. She dragged Ethan up too, perhaps to reassert control of the narrative. Perfect. We stood side by side, waiting our turn. I felt Emily's glare boring holes in my profile. At last, I turned. "Emily, this is awkward. Care to introduce your travel companion?" She tried a brittle smile. "This is Ethan, a friend from Pilates Retreats." "Ah," I said, extending a hand to Ethan. "We've kind of met already, online." I flicked my phone, bringing up a slideshow of all those stolen moments. The boat's golden hour hush amplified Emily's sharp inhale. Nearby tourists glanced over, sensing drama. Ethan's brow furrowed. "What is this?" "A pattern," I said. "A well-documented one." I thumbed through screenshots. Booking confirmations, synced selfies, chat logs. Gasps rippled along the rail. Sarah filmed discreetly. Emily snatched at my phone. I pulled back. "Touch it and I call security. They're big on property rights here." "Alex, please," she whispered, eyes glassy. "I'm not your priest. I'm your soon-to-be ex-husband." I turned so Ethan could hear. "She's been lying to both of us, though I suspect you knew." Ethan's jaw worked but produced no words. Sarah draped an arm over my shoulder for dramatic effect. "I always wondered why my sister never invited me," she said. "Turns out it was couples retreats." Emily's defenses crumbled. Her shoulders slumped. Tears threatened but never fell. She stumbled to the stern and sat alone, hugging her knees. Tourists avoided her like bad Wi-Fi. The sunset behind her looked like a postcard. Nobody raised a camera. Sarah and I clinked plastic glasses. Revenge, contrary to cliché, was best served warm with a lime wedge. Back at the resort, I emailed our attorney. Timestamps, GPS data, the video Sarah recorded. Digital guillotine. Aruba's notary opened at 9 a.m. By 10, we had a notarized affidavit of infidelity. Emily didn't contest. She'd retreated to her room, blinds closed, according to the concierge. Ethan left early on the first flight out, deserter to the end. We might have flown home immediately, but Sarah suggested we finish the trip. "You already paid," she shrugged. We spent 2 days jet skiing, laughing more than either of us expected. Nothing romantic, just relief companions feel after crawling through a collapsing tunnel. Emily avoided us entirely. When checkout day arrived, I saw her in the lobby, pallid, dragging her flamingo suitcase alone. She tried one last appeal. "Alex, can't we talk privately?" I replied, "We said everything on the water." Then I handed her a manila envelope containing the divorce filing and one of our catamaran photos, my petty souvenir. The annulment clock started immediately upon landing in New York. Our lawyers moved like sharks in chum. Within 6 weeks, the divorce finalized. Emily forfeited claim to my software consultancy, our Williamsburg condo, and even the dog, though I offered visitation for the dog's sake. She shipped her remaining clothes by courier, no note enclosed. Friends took sides. Some accused me of cruelty. Those people had never been ambushed by betrayal dressed as yoga retreats. Most supported me, privately admitting they'd envied our perfect marriage and were stunned. Perfection, I learned, is often just good lighting. Sarah and I stayed close out of necessity, co-witnesses for depositions. But proximity breeds familiarity. We grabbed coffee, then dinner, then weekly trivia nights. 6 months post-Aruba, Sparks felt less like coping and more like living. We decided to date officially after drafting what we jokingly called the Zero Secrets Treaty, bullet-pointed and signed over pizza grease. Emily's fallout spiraled. Pilates clientele dwindled. Apparently, motivational quotes land differently when tagged self-love by an exposed adulterer. She relocated to Austin to start fresh, plugging essential oils on TikTok under a new handle. I muted her everywhere, not blocked, just muted, like turning down a song that once slapped. Did revenge fix everything? Not quite. Some nights I still audit memories for fraud, flinching at innocuous phrases like girl's trip. Therapy helped. So did honesty with Sarah. If either of us ever felt restless, we swore we'd use words, not subterfuge. So far, so good. Last week, Sarah found the flamingo luggage tag in my drawer. She suggested a ceremonial burning on the roof. I agreed. As orange plastic melted, I asked if she thought Emily had learned anything. Sarah exhaled smoke curling upward. "Lessons are optional," she said. "Consequences enroll you regardless." That line stuck with me. Marriage demands consent, consequences don't. Emily chose secrecy, so I chose sunlight. Reddit loves tidy karma loops, but life seldom bows so neatly. Still, every morning I wake beside someone who values truth. That feels as close to tidy as reality grants. If you're skimming this for a moral, here it is. Notice the recurring faces in the background of your partner's photos, and never underestimate a cheated spouse with airline miles and a cooperative sister-in-law. We can be relentless. So no, I won't forgive Emily. Forgiveness is a gift, and she left my hands empty. But revenge? Revenge bought me space to breathe, and breathing leads to living. That's enough closure for me. And if you're wondering whether Sarah and I ever returned to Aruba, we did. This time as a couple, no subplots, no lies. The bartender recognized me, smirked, and poured 2 rum punches on the house. We toasted to transparent itineraries. Story over, ledger balanced. Thanks for reading, and check those tagged photos. Reddit always wants receipts, so here's the brisk legal rundown. 3 months before our wedding, my mother, a divorce lawyer, drafted an agreement. Its brightest sentence read, "If either spouse commits adultery, all rights to marital property, current or future, are forfeited." Emily signed between cake tastings. 8 years later, after the catamaran reveal, I emailed 94 pages of evidence. Photos, flight records, chat transcripts, GPS logs, and the resort photographer's raw files, to my attorney. He filed in New York County the next business morning, citing the prenup as Exhibit A. At the preliminary hearing, the judge skimmed 2 sworn affidavits from resort staff who had witnessed Emily and Ethan kissing in a pool cabana, examined Ethan's signature on a private bungalow bill, and stamped an uncontested divorce in under 20 minutes. Emily left with her personal checking account and the leased Lexus she'd chosen for Instagram aesthetics. I retained the Williamsburg condo, full ownership of my software consultancy, and Cooper, the golden retriever, whose loyalty never wavered. Family fallout arrived by ringtone. Emily's mother left a voicemail heavy with sighs about private pain made public, hinting discretion outranks honesty. Her father emailed a single sentence, "We are disappointed in all involved." Translation: holiday invitations have been mislaid. My parents reacted differently. Dad texted a gif of a bridge exploding. Mom reserved a table at Peter Luger, ordered the porterhouse, and toasted the protective power of boring paperwork. Work discovered the saga at Friday happy hour when the catamaran video appeared in our Slack channel. A junior developer asked if I'd sold streaming rights. I told him I'd settle for clean pull requests. Most colleagues applauded the precision strike. A handful whispered I'd gone scorched earth, conveniently forgetting who lit the match. Emily's Brunch Queens chat split like a bad zipper. Half recited platitudes about privacy, the others sent DMs thanking me for exposing duplicity. Even the neighborhood weighed in. The barista, who had memorized Emily's extra hot oat milk macchiato, asked if she'd moved. When I offered the short version, cheating, prenup, divorce, he handed me a loyalty card with every square stamped and said, "Heartbreak Special." The dog walker fist bumped me for ending a tourist scam. Our building super, champion of one-word sentences, muttered "figures" while repairing a radiator valve. Apparently, strangers recognized red flags I kept repainting white. Therapy entered courtesy of the company wellness stipend. Dr. Patel asked, "What did revenge give you that separation wouldn't?" I answered that justice crawls, deceit sprints, and I had to close the gap. He warned revenge can chain a person to yesterday, yet admitted exposure can disinfect. Across 8 sessions, we dissected every ignored warning. Emily's phone always face down, sudden Pilates conventions, unexplained dive shop charges. From that autopsy, I drafted new policies. No secret passwords, no eye-rolling at honest questions, and never dismiss intuition as jealousy. Sarah lives those policies beside me. Phones lie face up, calendars sync automatically, and location sharing stays on by choice. Transparency feels luxurious after years of curated half-truths. The internet demands a proposal arc, but real life prefers smaller moments. Splitting nachos at midnight, swapping headphones on the Q train, Cooper wedging himself between us during movie marathons. Whether we last decades or seasons, at least the foundation is poured in daylight. Do I regret the public spectacle? Not for a heartbeat. Revenge stopped the slow leak of self-respect. Emily now hawks essential oil starter kits on TikTok under a rebrand. I muted her, like turning down a catchy song that now grates. Ethan has vanished into corporate obscurity. LinkedIn lists consultant, a title covering unremarkable sins. Each month, I delete another folder of screenshots. Keeping them would be like displaying a used bandage. The lone relic was that flamingo luggage tag until Sarah and I burned it on the rooftop, sparks fizzling into the night sky. We laughed as smoke curled upward. The sky never looked cleaner. Here's the distilled lesson. Inspect the edges of photos, read every clause you sign, and remember cheaters bet on complacency. If you discover you've been drafted into a farce, act decisively, accept collateral fallout, and move forward. Forgiveness is elective. Consequences are compulsory. Ledger closed.